Okay, hello everyone. This is Grandmaster Jesse Bowen, and I have with me today a dynamic young lady. She's a martial artist, she's an author, she's all over the place, she's doing amazing things. We have Andrea Harkins. Hey ma'am, how you doing?
I'm great, Grandmaster. How are you?
Well, I am doing, hey, as I always say, better, better, and better, 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 and better. Life is good.
Yeah, yeah, love it.
So that's what I want to sort of share. We've just started a publishing company, and that company is called Elite Publications, and you can find us at elitepublications.org. And we're a self-publishing company helping people to get started. So what I want to do, I am declaring that November is Martial Arts Authors Month. So this is
Great.
a kickoff, ma'am. Congratulations. You are the first person of the month. You know, it's always good to
Awesome.
have some first going on.
Yeah,
So, I really wanted to educate individuals about their story. Everyone has a story. And I know that, your book is out. I want to hear about that. But, for our listeners, I want you to realize that uh, as authors or people that believe that we've done things in our lives, we've accomplished things in our lives, and there are things that we want to share. We think these things are important to share. And if we have accomplished success through these things, then we want to promote you and to use these things. And we really want to support you, whether that's, you buy our books and read them, or you call us up and ask us for coaching advice on what to do. So let's get started. We bumped into each other, what was that, 2016, I think.
yeah, it's been a
And,
couple of years.
and your bio was published in our book, which was Who's Who in the Martial Arts.
Yeah,
And, in our request, great bio. And we really hope that being in the book has somewhere influenced other things that you've done. I think right after that, or right at that time, you actually published your first book. So let's start off by telling everyone, I've introduced your name, but let's go into your background. Tell us a little bit about you.
well, I'm really thrilled to be here. First of all, my name is Andrea Harkins. I'm known sort of through the industry as the martial arts woman. That's been a persona that I've worked on to help bring more awareness, not just to women in martial arts, but just to the power of martial arts in everyday living. So I use the martial arts woman a lot. I have a blog called The Martial Arts Woman and a book as well. My background is mostly in a Tang Sudo Korean style that I started 30 years ago with my husband. We both went through the ranks up to about second degree black belt together. We taught for underprivileged kids for about 7 years and taught on and off. The last teaching that we did was at a YMCA in our last home. And we did that for about 9 years. So we're avid teachers and instructors. And the other piece of what I love is writing about martial arts and bringing it to the general public, to people who maybe aren't martial artists, but have a desire to know more or find it fascinating. So a lot of my writing reaches the everyday person who's not a martial artist, and then also an audience of martial artists who just enjoy positivity and hearing more about how martial arts can be more than just the physical. They can be a spiritual or mental aspect of your life. So that's my background in a nutshell, I guess.
Well, that's great. That's sort of what we have actually gone to with the Martial Arts Masters and Pioneers book, is really being more of a motivational book, history book, with the focus on how has the martial arts changed your life? Why did you get involved in the martial arts? How has it changed your life? We know it's a powerful tool. And through the stories that we share are designed to be inspiration that the non-martial artists, that's who we're recruiting. If you're already in the martial arts, reading about our stories is good. They're going to pump you up. But if you're the non-martial artist, just like with your book, if you're a lady out there, or you have a daughter, then your story and you as a female martial artist, and this is what we need more of. We need more female martial artists stepping up so we can narrow that gap between the number of guys that's in the martial arts and ladies, because this is a powerful tool. If you have a good teacher, that's where it all really has to start, and being
Right.
able to do that. And when you've had experiences such as your books that you can actually, write about. I know you have what, 2 books out? Am I correct with that?
Yes, that's correct.
And what is the second book? I don't think I heard that one.
The first book, as I mentioned, is The Martial Arts Woman. The second book is called Martial Art Inspirations for Everyone. It's sort of a daily reflection on different things that we all go through, maybe self-doubt or negativity. And it's just a little anecdote that you can read maybe daily or once a week that combines both the martial art aspect and mindset with some suggestions on how to live a happier life.
Great. Well, let's talk about getting started. How did that inspiration, how did you get involved in actually writing and then having the courage to again pursue a publisher and becoming published?
Yes, it's quite a challenge, really, because you question yourself. You wonder if you have a story to tell to begin with. You know that you enjoy your stories and your life stories, but is it something other people would enjoy? So with The Martial Arts Woman, it was really a publisher who suggested that I write a book about different women in martial arts and how martial arts touches their lives, make it motivational, inspirational. How have they overcome personal challenges due to their martial art training? And so I began that way. I wrote a couple of chapters and I thought, okay, this sounds pretty motivational and good and that kind of thing. So I did go through a publisher initially. However, I eventually bought the publishing rights back myself because I wanted more control over the book. And from there, the difficult part, Grandmaster, is not the publishing piece, it's the writing piece. So I often tell people, if you have a story to tell, don't worry yet about publishing, write the story, or get someone to help you write the story.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I did with that book. Now, that book was a compilation of stories from women all over the world. So about half of it are stories about my life experiences. The other half are chapters about other women who are involved in martial arts. Karen Eden, for example, or Rastida De Jesus. There are many in there who are sort of well known in the industry and tell fabulous stories. And so I brought all of those stories together, and it took a couple of years actually to write that book because of the outreach that I had to do. It was more than just my stories, but everyone has a story to tell. And I would encourage people to take the step and just know that it's worth it just for yourself. Even if my book didn't sell, I still have a great sense of accomplishment that I finally put into words, something that can memorialize my life as a martial artist and other women's lives, and that can reach people all over the world if they're interested in the stories. So sometimes it's just about what's right for you. And I would encourage people to not worry about how many will sell, or will it be, will people engage this book? Will people talk about it? Don't worry about that. Write the story, and then the marketing piece also comes later. So my advice is just to do it, just to be courageous enough to sit down and say, I'm gonna finally do this. And it takes a while to make that decision.
Well, I've written now 25 books, and fortunately, majority of the books have been on topics that people are interested in, they've been motivated to do, and they've actually purchased the book. So, I knock on a little wood for that. But you're correct. You can look at your book journaling. Say, for an example, a great way to start is to begin to journal. So if it's about you, now I love what you've done, and everyone, this is something you can do. So instead of just having a book that you have to think about, that you now bring several people in that would like to share their story in your book. Maybe you're the greatest fighter in the world, and 5 other greatest fighters that can tell the story about martial arts and their journey, and you
Right.
connect one thing in that process that makes, the making of a champion. And you got maybe 5 people that now write 20 pages in there. That's 100 pages of information that they're willing
Right.
to, and you sort of, so there are many different ways of doing that. I look at myself in the publishing business as more as a coach, because you're correct. The publishing in the 21st century, that's not a real big problem. The problem becomes is getting started, getting on the right direction, and not having to have that learning curve. That
Right.
learning curve, you say, well, I can do this all by myself. That learning curve is what you have to meet with. I've been writing now for probably about 20 some years that I've been writing, and finally started getting it right. And my writing was because I'm also a certified life success coach. So it was about uh, how to deal with yourself. One of my books sells mostly on the pageant tour. So the Miss America pageant. So I have a lot of coaches that buy. I have it here. Have one of my books. If you notice, it's not a really full like a booklet in there,
Yeah.
but it's all about unstoppable confidence, your inner power to success. So in fact, I'm also a pageant coach, so I do, the Miss North Carolina pageant. And so, I have coaches come and say, I have your book. But you see, I'm a coach, and when they Google my name, these books come up,
Yeah.
and I've been to I don't know how many pageants, and people say, "Well, I have your book." I'm going, really? I'm going, this book has what in it? It only has 32 pages in it, but there are 32 impactful pages that it's that information. Now, this was done. Oh, this book was written in 2007. So,
Yeah.
so this was 2007, and that was before Amazon came on the scene.
Right.
you know, Amazon, let's give Amazon a hand. But that's what we're saying is it's not the major thing. It's just having a message and having a word out
Yeah.
that someone else would want to use. I look at there are 3 reasons why you decide that you want to publish, and you've already brought them out. And sort of number 1 is that you have to get something out that you have been thinking about,
Right.
that you are interested in. Then you start journaling. Journaling is a great way to sort of, I used to keep a journal. I used to keep a bad news journal, and the bad news journal was always about stuff that happened to me that I did not like. And see, where your problem comes in is when you internalize these things and you don't have anyone to talk to. And this
Right.
stuff is sort of bottled up on the inside, and then you're
Exactly.
angry about it. So when you can sit down and journal, and you can say whatever you want to say to this person, this journal, or about this
Hmm.
thing you want to do, it's amazing when you go back and find one from 6, 7 years ago, and you see what you were thinking and what you were saying, looking at your relationships and all those things. So it's pretty amazing. But just like that, of doing something for your daily purpose of beginning to write.
And
Stick to that.
I'll just interject quickly there. That's the other reason I began my blog. The blog is really like a journal to me. It's a way for me to say, people are being negative about me. How do I deal with this? And when I ask myself that question, I realize other people have that question about their own
Mhm.
lives. So I write a blog and I say, this is happening to me. If it's happening to you, here are some suggestions to overcome
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
And so the blog is a casual style of writing that people can go and look at topics that might affect them, because it's just like a woman writing about her experiences and how to overcome those daily obstacles that we all have to face. So similar to journal, if you want to journal, you can even do it via a blog if you'd like to allow other people to see some of your insights. It's just another way to kind of get into the writing field and see what kind of impact your words have on other people.
Right. And here's some good tips I think that I actually use. especially in the writing process. And I'm always asked, well, Hunchy Boyne, how do you have all this stuff going on? How do you manage this? Well, well, there's a secret, and that secret is find the easiest way to get things done and be able to move everything forward at the same time. So if
Yeah.
I had to go do one thing and go back and do something else, so everything moves forward. So as I'm promoting, I have a book that's going to be coming out November the 1st, and that is uh, uh, public speaking for martial artists. So this is a book
Perfect. Good one.
about because that's what I do. I do corporate trainings, but we're using this every day. I just sold my martial arts business after running it for 38 years and having to deal with the daily of answering the telephone. I always answer the telephone. My calls are forward. That's the most important part. But we are engaged in public speaking all the time. And how well we speak also influences our revenue or our profit center when we're running a professional school. How do you answer the telephone? So this book goes back in and it talks about that business experience of answering the telephone. How do you teach your classes? Are your students benefiting from your classes? Is it because if they're not, are you being an effective speaker? Do they understand what you're saying? And
Yeah.
most of all, are they motivated by what you're saying? And you see, as a motivational speaker, that's just really talking from our heart. Do you love your martial arts, or do you really hate coming to class to teach? All those things they're a reflection, and they make a difference in the growth of your martial arts business. If you're a motivational speaker, and people really don't realize, and as a martial artist, my coaching programs are built around martial arts influence in corporate coaching. You know, so I do my presentations in my uniform, my samurai sword in my hand, talking about the black belt experience and how to break through. Sort of like the art of war, but I am the prop.
Yeah.
It's the same. I do stuff that I would do for free, but yet get paid for it. So we have so many ideas out there of things that we already do that could be a benefit or influence to others in that ability to be able to do that.
I
So
agree.
do you have any other projects that are happening right now? Anything that we should know to keep up with you?
Yeah, I do have a couple I'm working on, and I just want to just touch a little bit on your communication discussion that you just had. And communication and how to speak anymore. They don't read books sometimes because everything's texting and abbreviated and now. But I think that the better we communicate, the better our world can be overall. We need to really stay up on our communication skills, how we speak to motivate others, what we say, how we say it. Those things are still important. And sometimes people forget that. So I do hope that some of your listeners and those around us just keep in mind that communicating and communication skills are so vital to creating a positive, motivating world. We just really need to practice those skills if possible. And writing is one of those things that a lot of people don't do anymore because it's a lot of effort and they can maybe just post something quick on social media or something like that. But the written word really still has a place and is very important in our lives. So if your audience is interested in writing, I'd say just please do it. Just go forward with it and continue to keep communication and writing and books important in our lives. So that's what I would touch base on there. I do have some other projects right now. I'm like you in that I'm very active and I do a lot of different things. I actually work full time, so martial arts and writing are not full-time jobs for me, but they are part of my life. So I write for martial art magazines. I've written a couple of books and I have 2 other books in the works. One is called How to Create Your Own Martial Art Program, which simply means you don't have the overhead of an actual school. it's a portable program. In other words, like how I taught at the YMCA, or how you could teach at other areas that have space available where you don't have a huge overhead. So that's one book. And the other book, actually, I have also in the works is wedding vows and poetry, love poetry, because I've always written poetry, and I've had a couple of greeting cards published with a poetry theme to them. So I'm always doing something on the side. And right now I'm actually finishing my master's degree in organizational management, and I'll be finished with that in January. So I have a little motto, and like you, people sometimes say, well, how do you do all this? And I have a family, you know, I have children. And I said, you know what, the more I do, the more I can do. And for some reason, it just seems to work out that way. So just encourage everybody to follow their dreams and keep pursuing the things that interest them.
Well, great. And everyone, you know, one other thing that we talk as we get into communication is a whole nother topic almost, but especially if you're writing and you want to take yourself to that next level and start speaking, then we have a course now for blog radio. I've been doing blog radio for probably close to 20 years. And that's really been a major help in helping me to improve my speaking ability, is through the blog radio, doing just like we're doing right now, interviewing, how to interview better, going back and listening to yourself. You know, these are great ways to really improve what you are actually doing. Actually, you know, this could be turned into a book. Our audio that we're doing interviews can, you know, of course, you know, always with the permission of the people that you're interviewing.
Right.
But can be, so there's so many ways that you can actually create your book. So if you're interested in learning about blog radio, part of my public speaking program is helping people to become certified, having some type of documentation that you're going through a proven program to be able to help you. What's your website?
My website is also my blog site, and it's www.themartialartswoman.com. So it's my website is, I have other websites as well. I don't use them as much. That's the main one that I use. And I'm also very prevalent on social media. So Facebook, you can find me under Andrea Harkins, under The Martial Arts Woman. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can find me in all of those places, and they help keep my message relevant. Social media, although I talked about communication and how some of it is changing because of social media, on the other hand, social media is the main means of communication today. So the way that you can promote yourself or your ideas, your blogs, your journals, or anything that you want to share is really through that social media system and channels of social media.
All right, well, great. And everyone, you can go to Amazon and pick her books up. Are they at Barnes and Noble or any other?
They are online at Barnes and Noble and a few other areas, but I think Amazon's probably the easiest place to get them.
Okay. Well, everyone, this is Grandmaster Jesse Bowen. You know, just sort of reaching out. As martial artists, it's not about what we take from life, but it's what we give back. And so this information that we provided today is free to you. Maybe it will inspire you. Maybe it will help you to decide to make a difference in the world. That's why we're here. You know, it's the reason we write, because we want to make a difference in the world. We want to give back. You know, we've been extremely blessed, and we want to share this blessing with you, because receiving the blessing is about your mindset, and writing is about your mindset. And everything is about how you think and feel. So if you want to check out what we're doing, I'm going to be running a contest as a part of our launch. And for 10 people that are writing and that would like to, for us to do the publishing for your book, we're going to allow you to launch with us our book. The final edition of the Martial Arts Masters and Pioneers is going to be releasing June 26th and 27th. And that's going to be in Las Vegas at the Orleans. But we're going to have 10 other authors. We're going to be your support platform to launch your book in Vegas. And, you know, we really want to be a part. So if you're interested in becoming an author, or you're a current author and you would like to launch with us, then give me a call, 919-618-8075. Email me at info at this is a new one, elitepublications.org. Guys, your website, all that comes together. So let me know if you would like to have more information. Set up a free 30-minute conference to talk about it. Maybe you're thinking about it, but you don't know what to do. Again, this is what we do. We want to help you to become successful in everything that you do. Well, everyone, and ma'am, thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
time to be on this call today. Much success. If there's ever anything I can support you with, please let me know.
I will. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Everyone, this is Grandmaster Jesse Bowen. Say be blessed, and hey, catch us for the next interview. Remember, this is our martial arts month for publishers that are publishing in the martial arts. All right. Thank you.